What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and we got a lot to talk about the Teofimo Lopez situation, and it seems to be getting a little worse, to be honest with you. So we're gonna break down that Subriel Matias and Elvis had a lot to say. So we're gonna cover all these top stories. So stay here right with us on Round One Sports Talk. If you haven't already, give the videos a like. And if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Well, let me just get situated right here real quick. And okay, so I'm getting audio. Okay, good. I just wanted to check that real quick. And yeah, there's a lot to break down here with this Teofimo Lopez situation. Um, he recently went on this little not little, he's one of the biggest boxing podcasts there is in the game right now. And I strive to be them. But he's been a little bit everywhere, and in recent days, he's been in social media spotlight. Tio can't seem to really shake this uh thing that some of the things that he said out of his mouth, right? So hold on. Good, good. I could hear myself. Good. All right. I want to wait for a couple of you to get into the chat too and start filling in because this is going to be a topic I know I'm going to have to go back over. And when people start joining the live stream, um, and I want people to be here, when I break it down so that I can break it down just one time, because it seems like, you know, I get what Teo is saying, in a way, and that's everything, I want to talk about. So right before we get to the Teo thing, let me break down why isn't he fighting Subriel Matias? And now all of a sudden Elvis Rodriguez's name is being thrown around, and they had a potential, opportunity to take the Subriel Matias fight. Elvis. So Elvis gets on, and he releases an image of him, Matias, and this other guy, and he says to the world, right, that Subriel Matias doesn't deserve a fight with him. Oh, really? Right? Didn't you just lose two? Right? Okay, but anyway, so they need to manage their fighter well, Elvis, rather than saying that he's not ready for Subriel Matias. He has to, portray a tough guy's image of saying, "Oh, you don't deserve to fight me. That's why I'm not going to fight you." Right? And we're going to touch on fighters doing those kind of ploys and gimmicks, right? Such as Teofimo Lopez, you know? And I knew that Subriel is a dangerous fight. These guys can talk all the shit they want about Subriel Matias and everything. What's up, Carlos? In the building. My man. Yeah, they can talk all the crap they want about Subriel Matias and shit. But he's a dangerous fight. There was an article I was reading. Let me get back to it, see if I can get it up here. And this is basically what they were saying about Subriel and Elvis. Let me what's up? Yes, Teofimo Lopez is what? He's looking to get out of top rank contract. Yeah. I'm gonna break down everything with Teo like in a second, right? Let me just finish this with Subriel and because I already started talking about it, right? I don't want to hop around too much because I got a lot to say and I want to stay focused on Teo's situation entirely. So, Carlos, if let me get like 3 minutes here, then I want you to be like uh put a one or something and remind me about the Teo so we can hop in it, right? Because I'll stay stuck for a second. I don't want to do that, right? So check it out. Elvis Rodriguez, 17 and 1, 13 knockouts, right? You know, and what's his name? Alamo, Lamo, and he's 23. He's 20. He's 22, 3 and 13, right? Okay. So he would rather fight that guy than take the replacement from Teofimo Lopez and Subriel Matias. He would rather fight that guy than fight Subriel Matias, Elvis. You know, and the image he's getting is that Subriel don't deserve the fight. Okay. So it's gonna bring me right back to the Teo situation. It's gonna bring me right back to it, right? Let's just get to this Teo shit, right? Okay. Because it's all correlating, but it all leads off of Teo. Okay. Throughout the years of watching Teofimo Lopez, right? I watched the young man come up in professional boxing. And I've seen Teofimo Lopez be criticized, a lot for ducking certain fighters. Andrew Barboza being one of them, right? Okay. I remember when Teo went on and discredit Barboza as a fighter because he didn't deserve the right to fight against Teo. Similar to what Elvis is doing now to Matias. I've seen fighters use these gimmicks when they really don't want to fight that guy. In recent weeks, Teofimo Lopez has been all over social media. He even went on this morning and had a big interview where that he referenced and he addressed the public and how they view him now. You see, I want to bring up a situation between the brothers and the Puerto Ricans and the Latin people of the world. We've established this a long time ago that Puerto Ricans and brothers are like the same. But to everything in life, there's levels to it. There's kind of a level of being a brother and a Puerto Rican, which jokingly, a lot of these guys went on like New York radio stations with Fat Joe, and he's always dropping an N bomb. But they accept Fat Joe. They embraced him. He's Puerto Rican, and they gave him the ability that he's allowed to say the word, and he's like them, and we like us, right? Okay, but they agreed that Ricky Martin couldn't say it, and people like J Lo or like that. No, I think they said J Lo was in. I'm not sure, right? But there was levels to it, right? So Teo is from New York. And let's get this straight. Teo talks and was with the brothers out there, and he's certified. So he could say it, right? But here's a situation where someone takes something that was given to you and you lose your mind. I'm in agreement that, yeah, if he drop an N-bomb, whatever, it's just his street talk. That's just Teo. Yeah, okay, he's Latin. Yeah, okay. But that doesn't excuse you for taking it to a different level. Even as a Latin man, I can't co-sign what he said. Because that would be like him it's we're in everybody's culture, there's different ways. If you were given a stamp of approval or something, that doesn't mean to lose your mind. And then look, it kind of, Teo took it to the point where that he felt like we're all the same in his head. He didn't have to explain himself. If a brother would have said the exact same thing that Teo said out of his mouth to another brother, it'd have been like shit talk. Oh, you calling me that? All right, cool. Because it was one to another. Teo crossed the line that many people, hold on, whoa, what'd you say? Right? And Teo, that's just he's a character. And I bet as soon as the words left his mouth, he was like, damn, all this hype to a young man like that, you'll lose your place. And then these are these situations that we come out and put him back in his place. Because I can't agree that I'm going to play it off and be like, nah, that should be overlooked. Nah, Teo, you're losing your way. You really are. But don't get it messed up, right? Then he was addressing some guy that came on and said he was going to shoot Teo in the face, this, that, and third. Yo, my man, that's a little far, right? And like, do I think Teo is like a rape? Nah, man. Do I think he said some dumb shit? Absolutely. And all this, you think that all this media and everything is not affecting his everyday life? It is. And he's feeling the backlash, and look how many, he probably hasn't gone outside. And he feels like everybody misunderstood. He was trying to talk gangster in a moment, but degrade his opponent. It just didn't come out right. He's a dumbass. But nah, Teo grew up. Come on, man. Like a rate. That's coming out of that's, yeah, you dumbass. You said some dumb shit. Yeah. He's getting a lot of scrutiny for it. But in a way, Teo's like, yo, bro, I'm a boxer. The dude asked him about a certain situation. Teo couldn't even remember. The dude's like, yo, we got receipts on you. Like, it's a video. Teo's like, I don't remember. And he admitted, like, yo, and I kind of explain that to you guys sometimes. Really, like, Ryan Garcia is a beat boxer. They get punched in the head. They're not going to say something to uplift the world. Like, but they're not what's wrong with the world, though. Shooting Teo in the face over what he said, bro, there's a lot of other people in this world that do a lot of worse things to us. Come on, man. Like, yeah, he's a dumbass, right? Now, his situation in boxing, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for Teo. The thing he's doing is just these same ploys and gimmicks he once did back in the lower weight division. When he didn't want to fight a fighter, he would do this. Then Teo went on in the interview and he actually started breaking down. Thank you. He actually started breaking down he actually started breaking down the ins and outs of the business and the position that he finds himself in currently today. Meaning he wants out of Top Rank in his contract, right? But in the Top Rank contract, it says that if you win another world title, they'll sign you automatically because it's a clause for five more fights. But if you don't fight for a world title and you just fight for a title defense, then that's the last fight on your contract. And he will be out of the contract. Now, although Top Rank offered him, which I feel was a nice amount of money because Teal's never fought for millions of dollars like they be fronting like. Unfortunately, they gave him like 800,000 his last one. So I think they were offering anywhere between 2 to 4, right? And I think it might be around 4 for his last fight. So Teo trying to put himself in a better situation, fighting Subriel would still opt him out of his contract. But in the same token, Teo said he did want out. So I'm like, all right, then fight Subriel and get $4 million. And then leave. What's the problem? He doesn't want it like that. So then he started thinking a unification or fighting for somebody for the belt. Because if he wins another belt, that's another fight deal. Meanwhile, he revealed that he was also talking to other promotional companies like BLK Prime, and how they're broke and they didn't pay Terrence Crawford. And he started going on to this big rant about all this shit, which allows me to know he's shopping around. So Teo is saying, even he's starting to realize, even though Top Rank, they really ain't paid me, but whose fault is that? Teo, you didn't fight no big fights like that. That's why he fought the Josh Taylor fight, because if he won a world title, he would get another, and then now he's here. So Teo's in an interesting situation where he's shopping around, and I don't think nobody's really seeing his value in market. And they're telling him, well, based off your last fight, what do you want me to do for you here? You didn't even fight for $1 million. And you're walking up to me saying, I'm Teofimo Lopez. Really? So I'm trying to find the angle. Where are you going with this, Teo? Because I criticized them for not making these fights, right? Then I said to myself, well, maybe Teo was shopping around. He was looking for the big fight or something. And he was trying to find it. So he was really going around. But at some point, all the names that you were involved with, they were good enough. So I'm trying to figure out his angle, Teo's angle. Let me read some of your messages. What's up, Lionheart? How you doing, brother? In the building. Teo is a bum. Top Rank should drop him and leave him to the rats. Lionheart says. Carlos, what's up, baby? Richard, how you doing? Ha. Chill. Carlos says Teo shot himself in the foot going against Puerto Ricos and Africans. Yeah, community. Now he is nothing in New York. Yeah, he messed himself up bad, bro. Really bad. And I know that, there's another situation where a young athlete just, like thinks that he's bigger than the sport. And they start to develop this life where you're awarded for saying stupid shit against your opponent. And the more stupid and creative, you can be, the fans are cheering you on. You're talking about this dude's wife. You're talking about, all these low points. Oh, you're a cokehead, or, oh, you don't really, that chain's fake or whatever. And Teal's in a sport where they were cheering him on every time that he talked shit. He lost his place. Teo thought the way he was talking in the moment against Subriel and Puerto Ricans, that, he wanted to send out a brutal message that he wasn't scared of Subriel. So the lower I'll make him, the more I'm like, yeah, I'm Teo. And he didn't think about what he was saying. I've done that in life. I've been somewhere and I just said the wrong thing. Haven't any of you ever done that in your life? But this dude doubles down. He has no filter. At this point in his life, he'll see a couple comments. All he has to do is put down his phone. He don't see how the world is yelling into microphones. Hey, Teo. Nah, he's just oblivious until he says the next dumb thing. What happens? A domino effect. They start to remind him, Yo, didn't you just say this then and then this? And then at this point, now he feels like he's surrounded. Teo's sitting there going, shit, I did say that. And now he's like, in his world, don't you get the persona that Teo's even been trying to give Top Rank? That he's a star. He's trying to walk around with his dad with the glasses and the gold chain. And on the low, they never made $1 million. I'm sure he made money on the back end on sponsorships, and he is a millionaire, Teo, but he might have not have made it on his purses in boxing because he gets endorsements for a lot of weird stuff, and Teo's made some money. Don't think he's not a millionaire. Yeah, he got money. But Teo, he just lost his way. He started believing in, you see what he's been doing? Look at Tito's pattern. He's jumping on the zone, commentating when he's a top-ranked fighter, pissing off the bosses, saying outlandish things into the microphone. But it seems like nobody can put this together. And as soon as he said something remotely, it was like, now they want to run him over in the truck when they see him cross the street. He's a 26, 27-year-old kid. He's a young man. And he said some shit. Now, it's up to you how far you're willing to take this as a fan. Because personally, half of you've never, or more than half, have never met Teo. So this is a guy you guys want to throw your lives over? Your kid, your wife, your girlfriend, your situation means nothing but to get revenge on Teo for his mouth. No, I believe a lot of us said shit back to him over the microphone the same way he said it to us. And he's feeling it. I think that's a good punishment. There's only one Teo. There's thousands of us. Think about it. Teo is feeling it. And I think it was, it's worth the penalty right there. One against thousands. There's only one Teo saying it. All this scrutiny is getting everywhere, all the memes, everybody saying stuff, bro, like that. He is a human being, though, right? Teo, he has feelings. You know? Nah, Teo's just made out of rock. This doesn't affect him. He's that dumb. He does, no. He's getting phone calls from interesting places. Sponsorships, pulling out. He's feeling it. As far as his, his opponents, and I'm trying to figure out his angle. Now all of a sudden he's not fighting Subriel. Subriel's fighting who? You know what I'm saying? What's up, brother? How you doing? Who's that? Let me see your name. I want to pull you up right here. Oh yeah, what's up, baby? How you doing? Right on. Listen, I mean, look, there's a side of me that doesn't excuse him. I'm just bringing out the situation and I'm laying everything on the table. When I view things, at least today, I try to, what build up to this? How did we get here? And I watched Teo as a young fighter come up throughout boxing. The one thing about these fighters, they realize the crazier they talk, the more cameras are in your face. As Teo was on a fight card and he saw one fighter in particular do exactly that. Rolly Ramirez said the most craziest shit. And sometimes he didn't even realize we were laughing at him, not with him. but they kept encouraging it. Don't you notice the moment he started quieting down and he wouldn't say anything in front of a camera, he became less appealing? Because what attracted Rolly wasn't his fighting in the ring, it was his mouth and the crazy shit he would say. And the media poured gasoline on it. And they kept feeding it to you, and he kept saying more outlet until he got to the point where he said something that everybody turned on him. Same thing to Teo. Same shit. Teo's coming out in this circus attire, and the media's saying, start the circus. They got mics in front of his face, and he tried to say something slick, grimy, and effective to get the guy's attention. And it came out all wrong. It came out all wrong. I'm old enough and wise enough to identify situations like this because of my life experiences. I too was Teo at that moment. I just didn't have a world stage and everybody hanging on my every word. But I've been in a conversation where I was just like, shit. Did I just say you got a big nose? Damn, baby. No, listen. Okay. All right, you're gonna get up and walk out now. So, shit. I've messed up, bro. Bro, I've called people the wrong name, including women, picking them up. It didn't work out too good, but did I mean it intentionally? Did I have malice? Was I, purposely saying that? No, I messed up, bro. She slipped, man. I can't tell you how many countless situations I've been in where I said something and I was like, damn. Come on, man. Y'all holding him to that. Y'all know he ain't like that. Come on, man. Fucking dude trying to be like a Rolly, man. In this game where that we awarded. The crazier thing you say, more cameras, more cameras. You know? But I can't figure out his angle for boxing. He's had a lot of opportunities of late. When he doesn't want to fight somebody, you can tell his pattern. He starts to belittle the fighter and say that fighter is not on his level, and that's why he's not going to fight him. In Teo's mind, he feels like if he puts down the guy, then you would go, oh, yeah, Teo, you're right. That's why Teo's not fighting him. Why? Because Teo said that guy's not on his level. Bullshit. Arnold Barboza was on his level and ready. Teo knew that was a tough fight. And then these guys want millions of dollars to fight fucking Elvis Rodriguez. They want millions of dollars to fight Rivera or fighters like that. Bro, they're underneath you. You would be going backwards. How could you be demanding millions of dollars? You're not going forward. There was other fights on the table. The Devin Haney situation. Devin Haney and Teo were going back and forth. Teo hasn't made anywhere near the money to Devin Haney, and Teo was the one that sent him a contract. Demanding to be the A side with 55-45 split. Teo, have you lost your mind? You haven't even come close. And David Haney is like, but the money he put together with that Ryan a little bit, would definitely catapult anything you ever made. How are you making demands. I know Devin Haney's stock from the outside looking in looks like it's plummeting, but he's still got a name, and the world is still interested on what he's going to do. So, Teo, how are you sending him a contract? So the Haneys said, yo, you serious, Teo? They send him a counter offer. And then Teo says, no, I don't like it, and walks. Sometimes I want to say things, but I really want to help the sport. I try to remind myself that my quest is to elevate boxing and not to destroy these guys. So I'm going to say that whatever his decision is, from the outside looking into you got me confused. I don't know what you're doing. I understand you're in a bad moment in your career. Good fight. This is all blow over. A general apology. Not no street shit. Address your problems. Don't wait months. Be a man about it. Stand on business. It seems like a lot of people are starting to paint this picture of you as a fighter, Teo. And of late, you're not really picking the greatest fighters. You're going to have to pick yourself up, son. And you're just going to have to concentrate on being in the gym. And you're going to have to take a tough fight. That would solve some of this. Going backwards and fighting some of these under guys, talking about you're helping them out, I'm not sure. You fight some of the top guys in the division, now we're talking. So I don't even know who to name anymore, because you yourself have put yourself with so many names. You got so much beef in front of you. You should turn around. Don't go getting some more. Yeah, I don't know what do you want to do? And Lionheart says, he says, I disagree. I believe that T.O. is a scumbag. Yo, you know, he is. That's exactly what I'm talking about in a nutshell. You don't, well, I don't know. Sometimes becoming a scumbag there's a process. He wasn't always a scumbag. How'd he get there? That's what I talk about. I talk about all these things and the image and how we're awarding these fighters by saying the craziest shit. He didn't just wake up like that. He lost his way. And that's what we're seeing. I'm not excusing him for it. I'm breaking down how he got there. I've seen this before in sports. You think he's the first athlete I ever witnessed say some really hard, dumb shit, racist shit? Teal's the first. No. I see where these men lose their ways. And sometimes money allows you to be the real asshole you truly are. Hopefully, this puts him in his place. And it molds him into a better quality of man, where that he realizes his words have power. His words travel. Look how much his words have affected countless of people. And how many people are talking about what he said? Teo's voice has weight. It travels as an athlete, as a professional. So they have a responsibility that when microphones are in front of their face, whether they want it or not, there have been a lot of fighters, even UFC fighters like Sean Strickland. If you know anything about Sean Strickland, bro, whenever there's a camera or a microphone in front of that dude, yo, I'm like, the things he says about women, I'm just like, today's the day. He's going to say something. It's just, but when I see him, I'm like, bro, that's his personality. He's just being himself. Like, that's really him. Like, on every day, like on his day-to-day life, that's how he really talks. That's how he really thinks, his thought process. And it's like, I'm like, but that's him. You got to, and then people realize that and they quick want to put a microphone in front of that kind of person's face just to get a story. Because they're just waiting for him to say something dumb. You know? And I've seen this before. It doesn't not excuse him. I've said it. No, it doesn't. I told you I broke, and I could see how people get there. I could see how, it might not be the exact same situation how I laid it out, but it'll be somewhere around there. And the point is, he got there. He wasn't always like this. Just when you're put in some of these situations, you'll never know what it's like. Microphone, cameras flashing. You got Rolly saying outlandish shit. You're sitting here scratching your head, and Rolly's making more money than you. And you're a better fighter. And you're sitting there, and Rolly's in the main event, and you're like this. And Rolly's just saying outlandish shit. Teo was like, let me say some dumb shit. Whoa, Teo. The fuck is wrong with you? Like, and he is arrogant. He is cocky. And that's just his personality. Attached to what he said, it's going to give you a big picture of like, this motherfucker don't give a fuck. Nah, he's a piece of shit. Right? Because it's going to tie into it. I believe Teo's a good dad, bro. He took his son and shit. We seen his situation with it, his girl and shit. And, he's just a young man, bro. And fucking, he don't feel like he's getting his worth. He's like looking at Rolly like, this motherfucker's making millions, bro. I got 800,000 my last fight. Like, are you fucking crazy? He's like, give me a microphone. He's vomiting. And it went all wrong. It went all wrong. Yeah, it really did. He can't even walk the streets in New York. That's fucked up, bro. That's just like he was born there. Like, I'm like, Teo, man, what the fuck did you do? Like, shit, bro. I would not want to wake up today, Teofimo Lopez. And he's trying to do damage control, and I can feel what he's saying. I dig what he's saying. I dig what he's putting down. He's like, come on, people, like, really, like, but Teo, like, you're certified, yeah. As a Latin man, yeah, like in the streets, me and my mans, like, yeah, I'm stamped. Like, I don't have to ask permission, but just because you're given a piece of a culture and your neighborhood has stamped you, doesn't give you the right to lose your mind. If a brother and a brother say that to each other, I've heard it before, that's among them. They can do that. You know, if I say a Puerto Rican joke or a Latin joke, or I goof on somebody about, I'm Latin, I can do that. But just because I'm Latin doesn't give me the right to, you know, step over bounds. And like I said, I agree. Yo, Teo, you lost your mind. But I'm also in an agreement of how, shit happens. So, yeah, Shakur gets more money fighting rookies. That's that's gotta hurt too. Yeah, man. Teal doesn't feel like Top Rank has really been taking care of him. And on the low, it doesn't seem like they are. And now that this is all coming out, I'm like, yo, Teal, I feel you. He doesn't feel like his value. And then he's going through all this. Why doesn't the world love me? Why doesn't I'm winning? I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Why they not showing up to my fights? What did I do? And he's looking to the left and he's looking to the right. And these guys that he's better than are making mad money. And he's just like, what the he's like, and Teo had a nervous breakdown with his wife. We saw it, the mental health shit, going through the divorce. So the kid's been going through some shit real early in his life. And we expect him to have all his shit together. We're talking about a 20-plus-year-old kid here. And we're going to hold them to but maybe this is what he needed to get him off that high horse. A reality check, humility, humble this motherfucker. And maybe he might get some sense that no, you just can't say anything you want, brother. And you're responsible as an athlete for saying with the stuff that you say. This is the life you chose. This is what comes with it. So you can't get a pass, but I think what he's getting is justice from all of us from around the world. Teo is truly getting it. And I could say 100%, he's definitely outnumbered. It's only one Teo that can speak to all the millions of voices that are giving him shit. I think that's justifiable. Teo doesn't want to be Teo right now. You guys want to take it a step further? What do you think we should do with him? Because one of these guys went on a podcast and they said, if we see you in the street in New York, we shooting you. Who's going to pull the trigger? And you guys really want to kill Teo over that? That's that bad. Come on. I value life anyway now. Maybe if I was like 19, maybe I would have caught me in a bad situation. I've been like all talking shit about Teo. I could see myself back then. Yeah, maybe so. But grown men like us, like, yeah, we upset, we mad. Yeah, look at my man called him a scumbag. And I'm like, all right, yeah. Like, he deserves it. He deserves it. But shoot him in the face? Nah. And whoever the guy that wants to walk up to him and smack him, as soon as your hand lifts your side, right, you smack him, right? Just remember, whatever happens, that's Teofimo Lopez, a world champion. I hope you got world champion skills. So what comes back to you, right? You'll be able to take whatever comes back your way. You know, and then I hope there's no lawsuits. You know what I mean? Because, you know, some of us got to remember that's still Teofimo Lopez. I'm not sure you've been training in your room like Rocky, or you take martial art classes, or you're a badass yourself. Well, then if that's the case, well, then, okay, then that's what you are. But to the guy that's not, that's thinking about smacking Teo, um, good luck with that. And to the guy that is, I guess, willing to do the same thing because he's tougher, if that'll make you sleep better at night, have at it. Um, you took it upon yourself to correct the world's. You were assigned to check Teo. That was when Teo said something wrong. You took it upon yourself to say, "What? Uh, uh, I'm going to address this." So you're the judge, the jury, and it's this is cool. Just think about the things, you know what I'm saying? I've seen celebrities attacked. I've seen people do dumb shit. And if anybody is actually watching my show, what if that one guy was thinking about doing something? And I'm asking you, brother, there's levels to things in life. I think Teo's really feeling it right now. And he didn't do anything to the status that we should demand his head. That's all I'm saying. He's a dumbass. He's getting it from everywhere, I'm pretty sure. Him as a fighter, boxer, I like him for the sport of boxing. He has a good name. He needs to fight better people. He I can't figure out, like I was expressing, that his angle. I no longer see what he's doing. I started to get up and I watched that interview and I started to see some of his points as a man, as a fighter, as a father. He is a human being, and I started to listen to him, and as a reporter and to getting to know these fighters a bit better, I pay attention to what he says. Teofimo Lopez, he's been going through some shit. You know, and he wants to get out of the contract, but he's not showing me that he's taking the right fight. When Bob Arum's offering all that money to fight Subriel, and at the end of your contract, and then it lets me believe that all this hype that they were talking about Subriel Matias all being done, that he's nobody, that Teo was gonna beat him decisively, and all this. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh shit, right? And speaking of Subriel Matias, right? You gotta understand Subriel Matias, and this is what I talk about fighters, and sometimes breaking down what led to the event. Subriel Matias coming into that fight with Liam Paro, he was Subriel Matias started believing in his own shit, like most fighters do. He started noticing that there was more cameras in his face. With every victory, stopping 5 fighters, getting the title, etc. There was another young man that came out of prison that's lived in Lo Caserio in Puerto Rico. He's really never been around the stars of the world. He started getting all that. And when I start to think about his situation, when I start to look back, there were signs. They were there. All the distractions, the parties, the rappers that were with him and their videos, and all the extra attention Subriel Matias was getting, even from one of his biggest idols, Tito Trinidad. And it was surreal for him finding out that Subriel's father was Dominican and that his mom had like you know, a rendezvous like any human could have. And the dude left the island. She still had to raise her son, right? There he is. He had a lot of things I remember going around. And when you saw him coming into the Lee and Paro not fight, now that I look back at it, there was another case right there of a fighter, and the distractions of the world really didn't get him as prepared as he thought he was. Subriel was coming off a massive winning streak. He thought fighters were just scared of him. He thought at one point, shit, all I got to do is show up. I got these guys beat halfway. And all the people, you're the best, yeah, this and this. And he started, yeah, you know what? You're right. And he thought, I'm still Subriel Matias. All I got to do is kind of like train and get in shape and go out there and just do the same thing I do. And Liam Paro wasn't scared of him. And this image that he had, an aura that it gets to fighters. And I think that Subriel now is trying to find his way back. And he needs that big fight to show the world I'm not bullshitting. Teo knows how to bounce. Subriel knows how to bounce back from a loss. He suffered his first loss and ran it back, 2 years later, and he beat him. So the likelihood of what we're going to see Subriel fight Liam Paro again is really high. Because Subriel Matias is the type of guy that he's going to want to get that back. He's going to go, even if Liam Paro, whatever belt, no belt, he's going to want to fight Liam Paro again. That's what kind of man he is. Because I've seen that type before. And Subriel's going to want to fight him. He's going to do the same thing he did when he suffered his first loss. Took a couple fights in between, came back, whooped his ass. He's going to revisit that Liam Paro fight. I know it. So it's just interesting to see these guys, and as I watch them throughout their career and how their careers unfold, how certain situations come back. You can look back in a fighter's career and say, this, and this. For example, Teo Lopez. Sometimes we criticize these fighters for not taking these fights in these moments, right? But I think that the one thing we leave out is their lifestyle. They also have lives too, right? Houses, cars, girlfriends, cousins, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters. And you're also doing things. Sometimes you don't know the position you get these guys in. They get the phone call, yo, I got you to fight. Can you be ready? And bro, I'm out of shape. I can't make that fight. The fighter got to be honest with himself. Can't be greedy or desperate, because that's when you go in there and you make mistakes and you lose. So some of these situations in Teo's life, you're like, yo, Teo, why didn't you fight this guy during this time? If you would look back on the map, oh shit, you were going through a divorce. Your head wasn't in the game. That's why he didn't take the fight. And you got to look back sometimes and but it is what it is in some cases. Yes, it is. Sometimes he ducked him. He didn't have a fight scheduled. There was nothing wrong with him. Bro, you didn't want to fight that guy. We could all see it, right? But sometimes life plays out. Gervonta Davis was criticized for not taking some fights. Well, guess what? He was in court. He was in jail. He was actually getting into a car crash. At that moment, in that month, fighters are asking him, calling him out. He don't want to hear about boxing, bro. I got a lot of shit going on. Gervonta Davis, why didn't you take the fight? My head wasn't in the game. I don't know how many times I can tell. I can tell you guys that. And then Gervonta, remember that time you didn't take this fight? And sometimes some of these fighters' lives play a factor. And I like to bring some of these things up. I'm not always on here. My show is not based off this guy on Twitter texted this or this guy on this texted that. I like to get more in depth with some of these fighters and their situations. This is one in particular that happens to be playing out like this. I'm just merely breaking it down. But these fighters right here, man, on my Saturday night, after a long weekend, all of a sudden, um, you hear that bell ring. Fight night. Man, that gets me excited. And I appreciate these moments that these men and women bring to us. I try to remind myself that I'm here and that one of my goals is to elevate the sport, to get us more connected with these fighters. It seems like a lot of people just want to talk about negative shit all the time. I get it. That shit does sell, right? Makes interesting, right? The shit talking. But maybe there'll just be one of us, me, and we could have a conversation. We could break things down. And I'm not trying to sell you on any of these fighters. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of viewpoints. And some of us maybe went too far. Maybe we said too much about Teo that now, even if I break it down, you won't allow yourself to diffuse the situation in your head. Maybe you feel like now you said too much. Just like Teo feels. He said too much. If he didn't feel that way, he wouldn't be on podcast or trying to clear it up. If he felt that way, why would he try to clear it up if he already said what he feels? Let it marinate. Don't say nothing. No, there's a man that, and then he lost a large part of his Latin community saying that dumb shit with Subriel. So don't just he's hit. He is hit. Like the Puerto Ricans and the Latin people won't save him walking down the street and he'll be running into the brothers. He's done. Like I said, you don't want to wake up in Teo's shoes today. Like, at least not today. Shit'll hopefully blow over and we can talk about Teo in a more positive life, I hope. And about his boxing. I wish him the best. Teal's good for the sport. His personality sucks. Okay. That's the one thing I learned about athletes. Watch yourself because when you meet your hero, he might not be what you thought. I've seen kids on videos and stuff meet their idol. And he's like, hey, kid. And he's like, you want to be a baseball player? You can't. You're too short, kid. Give it up. And walk away. Like, the kid's like, how dare you do that? Like, it's just human behavior, bro. It's a motherfucker. Like, we're like, I'm holding every person to be like a model citizen. You can't fart right now in a room. Your career will be over. Like, you have to be like perfect now. We can't say anything. We have to say before we say something, you know, it's getting to the point where they're gonna start holding us accountable for certain words and we won't be able to say anything anymore. Little by little, they take our freedom of speech every day from us, whether you realize it or not. And but trying to make a society to become not so wild. Maybe if you take out some of these bad things, maybe we'll respect each other a little bit better. And I see the concept, but there's another part of people that see what they're trying to do good and say, yeah, now we could silence them. And they can use the very thing that they're trying to fix to use it in another way. You ever see a mad scientist make something, but they use it for something else? It happens every day in life. So it's about power and responsibility. Careful with what you use it for. And careful what, some of us got microphones and they live like that on an everyday basis. They have to understand that. Yeah. But what do you guys think about Elvis and his little tweet? You guys seen that he don't deserve the fight, and it's just another fighter trying to belittle the other guy to say why he actually doesn't want to fight him. Bro, you don't want that smoke. Let me read some of you guys' messages here. Let me get caught up with you guys. Thank you for tuning in here at Round One Sports Talk. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. What's up, guys? How you guys in the building? Word out. What's up, baby? How you doing? Calito. Shakur gives money. Yeah. Yeah. I saw that one. I saw that one. What's up, baby? How you doing? You had something to say here, right? Let me see. Let me see this. What's up? Okay. Whoa. Bud said he's willing to fight Teo out of the ring. Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah. Even Bud, like, now Bud is taking on like um the brother's voice, like for black folk. And he's like representing black folk to get revenge. You can't say that. Bow, right? To Teo, right? All right. Now I don't want to sit here and say I've seen some pretty bad stuff done to black folk that I think that person should have got shot and no one did anything. Right? All of a sudden you got this boxer and you got another real world champion publicly saying, I'm going to fight you in the street, a street fight. How far is this going to go? And I'm like, what do you got? Is there double standards here about if a person doesn't have enough power to protect himself, you can go after him? But if it's a law official or nothing, they don't do nothing to those guys. None of them got challenged to fight in the street or got even a tweet about fighting in the street. Like, I don't, so many people are addressing it like they want to be the ones to save what? To, like, by hurting him, did that cure racism? Or does that alert everyone else? Look what happens to Teo if you say it. Is Teo the first person to say something like that? So I think we got a list. Wouldn't we have a lot of work to do? Because if you're gonna find one guilty, why we gotta take care of everybody else then, right? Or are we at the point where we say, nah, we ain't gonna allow this to keep continuing. So this is where it stops. And by beating up Teo, it's gonna solve it. Where okay, we couldn't just say some mean shit back to him. We just couldn't make memes and roast them and nah, Teo, your forehead's too big. Like cap back, say disrespectful things back. That's not good enough. No, we gotta hurt Teo. Like let's. Oh, whoa, wait. Now I'm willing to stick up for shit. And I'm willing, man. Listen, I done did some shit, and I'll do it again, right? But I'm old enough and wise enough to know that. Wait a minute, like that's not all the attention that this is getting. I just think that they let him have it. The whole world let him have it. I think that's pretty fair. He's getting roasted. Like, okay, think about what you said next time. Move on to the next. I think that's it should be done there. These people are actually talking about if I see you in the street, he can't go outside. They'll roll up on him. That's how the world and all these other YouTube channels threw gasoline on this. They got young men out there that don't even know Teo or Terrence Crawford's never met any of these guys in their life, but they ready to ride for him. For a complete stranger. I'm ready to crash out. That's how you view your life? Just you ever see like that group of people? And one guy got money. He's like the celebrity. And all these people are willing to dive in front of a car for him. Fight all his fights. And go to jail and do stupid shit that he says. And all of you got to go home and turn back into pumpkins. And your day-to-day life is to be around one guy with money. But you're not building anything for you. What about you? And I see that a lot. And I look at those dudes and I'm like, that's how you view your life? You want to be a yes man? Yeah, man, yeah. I agree to everything he says. He gets all the bitches. He gets everything first. Fuck out of here, bro. Shit. I'll be just fine getting it. I'll get my own girls. I don't need you to drive in your fancy car. You know, I'm not easily impressed. Shit. Maybe I think different. I don't know. But hopefully now I'm getting older and wiser and I'm not getting ignorant because there was a point in time in my life I did not talk like this. No, I didn't. I didn't even process information like this. Not at all. I was a knucklehead and I did some real serious shit. I feel bad about it um and I moved on in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I was a dude that I always felt like I was a good person, you know what I'm saying, and I had good ambition. Just misguided. Misguided and a little cocky and arrogant, you know. But you know, you know, you find a new passion, new love for something, you do something great, you know, and hopefully you learn from it, you know. But today, like it's hard sometimes for me to break some of these things down because I'm sitting here saying, nah, don't do this, don't do that, be humble, have these things. And there was a point in my life where I was opening the door, smacking them, like, so, um, and I'm like sitting here saying, look at you saying this to these people. If you like only knew, right? Um, but I try to be as transparent as possible. And all jokes aside, I won't promote violence. I report on it, and I love the sweet science. Boxing is truly an art, and it is a sport that I need as an outlet. I was that young man out there with a lot of rage and just wanted to fight. And somebody saw me and put me in the ring, and I was fighting. Just didn't know how to shut it off. Just didn't know how to shut it off. So my fighting led to the street, which led me to get in trouble. But some of us get that opportunity to reach the top pinnacle. I always wonder, yeah, what if, man? Like, I was pretty good shape dude, and I always have been in my life. And these men and women are there, man. They fucking there. And in a small part, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Teo. I'm jealous of all the fighters because they did it. I didn't get to do it. And you know, resentment is something that you gotta let go, bro, right? So, yeah, so what? My it is what it is. This time is now. So, I want to see how good I am. How good is your eye? And can you still learn? So, I started to build this, and it's like boxing completes me. Fighting the art, watching new guys develop ways to knock out other guys, slicker approaches, and you see all these styles, and you start to realize, damn, bro, maybe I wasn't as good as I thought. Like, and I got a room over here, and I'll practice like sequences and fights because I'm watching these guys fight, and I'm saying to myself, why didn't I think of that? And it's like my training was never complete. You know what I'm saying? Like Mr. Miyagi, right? So, as me being older, I want to watch a fight and I want to understand it to the point where that before the guy did it, I can almost see it occurring. Sometimes it's too fast, sometimes but I really ask myself, how did he do that? And if there's a style to knock someone out. So, throughout my course of covering boxing and everything, that's the one thing that I really truly you know, look forward in breaking down fights and shit. But um these I don't know, these kind of situations right here in boxing are touching and shit, but yeah, what do you guys think, man? Like, who would you want Subriel to fight if Subriel ain't fighting Teo? If Teo doesn't take the fight against Subriel, right? And this Elvis kid's name's being thrown around here for a potential opponent for Subriel, not for Teo. He's supposed to be a fighter that, and now where does Teo Subriel go from here? Where does he go? Like, um, no, wait. Nah, shit. I'm thinking, hold on, I'll be right with you. Where does um Jose Valenzuela, and then the Russell guy is gonna fight him. So that's gonna take him out. Arnold Barboza, Sandal Martin. Sandal Martin had an issue. Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall was he's gonna fight Arnold Barboza. Like Jack Catterall and Arnold Barboza, so they're out the way. Um, they gotta fight, and that's gonna be in next month. So A good fight with nah. Well, Josh Taylor for Subriel Matias. I mean, it doesn't do anything for him. Does it do anything for him in the ranking in the IBF? No. Um, Josh Taylor is ranked. He's not even ranked in the IBF, IBF, IBF. No number one, no number two, Jack Catterall, Arnold Barboza, Subriel Matias, and then Elvis Rodriguez is number 7. So Elvis Rodriguez is actually below Subriel. Another good fight for Subriel, Jose Carlos Ramirez. Dalton Smith and Kenny Sims, right, are just too low. They're too, that would be taking a step backwards. You can't, at this point, he needs to fight somebody up, but the freaking organization doesn't have a number 1 or a number 2. You can't even challenge to fight the number 1 or the number 2 for the IBF. There's nobody there. The Jack Catterall for the IBS and Arnold Barboza, which is the 3 and the 4, and they're fighting each other. Subriel is just underneath him. So who's Richard Hitchison's mandatory? He's not going to have one for a while. He's just going to slide under the radar. And Subriel Matias is not ranked. Is he ranked in any other organization? I thought we discussed this. Subriel Matias, wait a minute. Shit. Oh, he's ranked for the WBC, number 9. Yeah, so he's only ranked in 2 organizations. So who is you? Liam Paro. Fight Liam Paro. Subriel Matias, a running back right now. None of you guys got belts, right? Well, Liam Paro's coming off, yeah, and Subriel's coming off of, like that win is not like, you know what I mean? Liam Paro and Josh Taylor is ranked in the WBC above Liam Paro and Subriel Matias. He is. Lindolfo is number 6 for the WBC, and Gary Antoine Russell is number 5. Arnold Barboza is number 4. Jack Catterall is number 3. Dalton Smith is number 2. And Sandor Martin is number 1 for the WBC. So, who could Subriel fight? It's going to have to be somebody lower. He's not going to get anything really out of this. That's why that Teo Lopez fight was so good for both fighters. He should have fought Teo. I mean, Teo should have fought Subriel. Because who the fuck is Subriel Teo gonna get? This is the same division. He's gonna have the same opponents. His Arnold Barboza and Jack Catterall are the number 1 for Teo's belt for the WBO. Arnold Barboza is number 1 and Jack Catterall is number 2, right? Santiago is number 3. Subriel is number 4 for the WBO. Shit, Subriel is number 4. I didn't see that. He is number 4. Subriel's number 4 to Teo's belt. And then under that is Williams and then Franklin. Oh, shit. Subriel's ranked for 3 organizations. The WBO, the WBC, and the IBF. The only bullshit one he didn't go to was the WBA. Oh, Carlos, what's up, guys? Let me answer your shit. Damn. Yeah, in his division, Lionheart. Teo needs to fight in his division. Yeah, he was addressing all of that. Yeah, but Elvis doesn't want to fight him. Elvis tweeted out today that he didn't deserve a fight with Subriel Matias. You guys want me to put up his tweet? Hold on. I'll put up. Yeah, Liam Paro versus Subriel 2. George, see, that's the problem. George Kamboza's coming off losses. I mean, out of his last 4 fights, he won 1 fight. I don't know if that does something for you. Does it give you the stamp from the other boxers? Oh, you fought a tough dude. He just hasn't been winning enough. He has the credentials. George, he's a unified world champion. I mean, George is ranked number 10, right? To the WBO. I just don't see the value. I wish Richard Hitchison would fight Subriel Matias. Africa gotta get a good fight, man. You know what I'm saying? If Africa can, well, it's tough right now because a lot of guys are tied up. There's a lot of guys that have fights going on. So picking a guy that doesn't have a fight going on, it's going to take the fight. And that's a big name. We're running out of names. That the division is these guys got to start fighting each other. If they want this kind of money, if you're claiming to be a king, you got to do king shit. How the fuck are you claiming to be the best fighter, one of the best fighters on the planet, that you're a world champion? Your message is you want to fight the best fights. Here's your opportunity. Subriel Matias is a big name. Not only would it would stamp a good victory, it would also show the boxing world, I took this tough fight. So now that's a good name to have on your resume. When you look back at these fighters' careers, these are the things we talk about. Well, then who'd he fight? Give me names. Who'd he fight? We're always talking about that. Teo needs to put more names on that resume. So who are you going to get? If Teofimo Lopez was to turn around and fight Elvis, what would the people say? You mean to tell me Elvis is a better fight than Subriel? I'll wait. So it's like these guys want all these millions. These guys want all this, but they don't want to walk through the fire to go get it because they saw some other guys take lesser avenues, like Devin Haney. I mean, he fought a fax machine for 1 belt and he beat one guy for 3 that was this much smaller than him. And then you're looking at that on the outside, Teo. Damn, man, that was a quick road to success. And Devin is like, fuck you. You should have been ready. You should have captivated on your times, but you guys didn't. And here comes Devin Haney sliding in. And he got everything. And you can't be mad at him for that. Right? Devin Haney fucked up that fax machine. He was like, shh, give me that belt. And the fax machine goes down. Woo! Woo! WBC came out of a fax machine. Devin was pumped. But he did defend it and he did complete the ritual. Devin Haney went out there and took that WBC, real talk, and he earned it. Although he didn't, because he punked Loma for that belt. Loma had to vacate that belt. Actually, that belt was kind of prestigious to really think about it. You punked Lomachenko to vacate that belt, young Devin Haney at 19? Because Loma didn't want to fight you? That it must have been a tricked out fax machine with diamonds and shit, some gold, because that was a pretty good accomplishment to punk that guy. He didn't want to fight him. He went and fought Teo for the WBO when Loma already had that belt. So, and then Devin said, fuck it. I punked him for the belt. Give me the belt. You don't want to fight me for it? Then run it. Devin ran Teo for his belt outside in the parking lot. Let me get that belt. And beat one guy for 3. But he had everything. And motherfuckers was hating on him. And Devin was like, you know what I mean? And some fighters are like, Teo's like, why can't I be like Devin? An easy way there. Teo's like, man, I always got to fight Jerome Boots Ennis or Terrence Crawford or Subriel Matias. Why can't I fight fucking the fax machine and George Camboza? Like, you know what I mean? Well, you lost to him, motherfucker. That's why. Because you didn't take him serious. Because when you had the world on your shoulders, Teo, you don't learn from your mistakes. And you got all cocky and arrogant, went in there and paid the price, and that man walked off with all your belts. That's what happened. So I'm like, these fighters have gotten opportunities, and Tito's just a fucking diva. You got to call it what it is. Straight diva, bro. And good fighter, though. Good fighter. His personality and sucks. And you could see the arrogance when he talks. Like, you can see he's a shitbag, right? The little bit of money went to his head quick. Without getting paid, Teo decided, I'm going to get paid already. Let me act like an asshole early. You needed to get the money first, then act like an asshole. you didn't go nowhere. But, I don't see his angle anymore, Teo's. I don't. And the other champions, Jose Valenzuela, with this Roach, right? I mean, not Roach. What am I talking about? Russell. Sorry, not Roach. Russell. I was thinking about Lamont Roach with Tank. So the Russell kid, right? And I'm saying to myself, didn't I just hear today Russell's name pop up for another fight? So I was like, what's going on with Jose Valenzuela? Are they going to make that card? So I'm going to get back to you guys on this. There was other things. Yeah, in fact, now that I'm talking about it, I was like, wait a minute. I heard his name brought up and I'm just like, why would your name be getting brought up for another potential opponent for somebody if that's what you should be training for? Now, I'm not sure of what I read real fast in trying to rush shit today. I read that they were probably throwing his name out for maybe a potential opponent for him in the future. That's what they could have been typing out. My eyes are bad, guys. Trust me. You know what I mean? And sometimes I fuck it up, right? And my girl's like, why don't you just put on them glasses and shit that you could see with? And I'm like, I will not show these people those fucking glasses. I am not putting them things on. I can see with them, yeah, but no, I'm not even showing you what they look like. We got to get that fixed. So, anyway, yeah, 2025 is going to be the year. This is going to be a big year. Oh, this is going to be a big year. We got a lot of boxing in front of us right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited. Carlos, listen, I was going to make it a little short tonight or whatever, but look, I'm going to drop the link in chat. You guys just want to chat, whatever. We could talk some boxing. Lionheart, I hope you're still there. Come share your feelings on Teo. It would make for good entertainment. Yo, Lion Guy Heart got a lot to say. Teo needs to fight in his division. Lionheart. I was gonna answer that question for you, right? 100%. 100%. He needs to fight somebody in his division, and he needs to fight maybe one of the other champions. Now, if he fights another champion, here's his situation, Teo's situation. And I started to like really navigate through his options, right? You heard Teo today out of his own mouth. Now, these are information I'm getting from him. And he said that in the top rank contract, if he fights for a belt and he wins it, he's awarded another 5-fight deal. Okay. But if he doesn't secure a world championship for the organization, then he becomes a free agent. So if the offer was all right. If the offer okay, here, okay. What's up, my man Carlito? In the building. I was seeing the thing pop up and I was saying to myself, who's this? And I was like, oh shit. Wait. I can't hear you yet.
You hear me now?
I can hear you now. I gotta put the headphones in.
What's up? What's up?
Oh man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I couldn't catch up with the last live you did, but you know, but I'm
It's
here
all
though.
good. It's all good. We got this one, man, and we got this, this situation with Teo we find ourselves in, and then the mess with Subriel Matias. Where does he go from here? And anything that you want to talk about,
Yeah,
So, yeah, go ahead.
to keep with the topic,
Yeah,
my opinion with the host Teofimo situation, uh, I just believe he shot himself in the foot, man. Um,
yeah.
he's like in quicksand right now. He's trying to
Oh yeah,
grab any branch, any company, any probably the zone right now to like save him in this bad contract he's with Top Rank. Um, it's a lot of stuff. I like he can't sell. Like we was talking last time
yeah,
if this Subriel and Teofimo fight is pay per view worthy, but it's not.
right.
And right now, because I seen that interview with the boxing voice. Shouts out to them. Uh,
That's his name, boxing voice, right? Go ahead.
of I think Teofimo said if he would have fought under Top Rank, he's obligated to like fight 5 times or something with them.
Yeah, no. See, the thing in the contract was that if he won a world title for the organization Top Rank, that it was a mandatory that he'll get another 5 fights under the Top Rank banner. Now, Teo being at his last fight, he's trying to maximize and then like walk out the back door. Here's the problem with a lot of these promoters and these situations is that just like Top Rank and Shakur Stevenson, Top Rank told Shakur, "You're not going to sign another contract." He said, "No, you think they're just going to make this superstar? You're going to promote. We're going to make you on your way out. They're going to try to stick it to you." And in Shakur Stevenson's last fight, what did Top Rank ESPN do? Show the crowd leaving, paint an image that he's not worth it.
Yeah,
Because these are gimmicks that they take shots at each other, the fighters and the promoters. It's a dirty business. It's a dirty business,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So Teo is in this situation. He finds himself in this situation, and I start to think back. Where did all this start to come from? It started with Terrence Crawford, Tank, Brian Norman Jr., then all of a sudden Jerron Boots Ennis, and then all of a sudden, it just kept, and I was like, where is he going with this? What is he doing? What fight is he setting up?
yeah. He's
Then
all
when
over the place.
then when Mike Carpenter released that story for ESPN, which he, for the most part, he's a respectable, his word is pretty good. Sometimes we get him wrong in this field, right? Can't get him all right. So he says in his story that the negotiation was almost finalized. So this negotiation's been going on since October, right? With Teo and Subriel. Then all of a sudden, you wake up this morning and Subriel's name is being mentioned with who? Elvis Rodriguez. Wait a minute. What the hell happened to the Teo fight? Now, Teo goes on this show, The Voice, and he starts to explain his situation. And I'm just sitting there going, I'm not buying this shit. Teo, like, bro, you said this about when you never wanted to fight all these fighters. Top Rank's giving you $4 million to fight Teo, more money than you ever have. And then you still leave them? See, Top Rank's trying to cash out on him. And Teo's what like I just I no longer see, his what he's gonna do next. I can't. He's too unpredictable.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to say is that when I when I saw that reunion, that WBO reunion, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see Teofimo there with Rafael Espinosa and Emmanuel Navarrete.
They
And
this year they held it in Puerto Rico. Yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was at Puerto Rico. They always do it in PR,
Yeah.
and I was just thinking to myself like, man, Teo, how like all that stuff you said about Puerto Ricans, and yet you're at PR signing autographs to
Yeah.
Puerto Rican kids. You
Yeah.
defend a Puerto Rican organization belt, right? The WBO is
Right.
located at PR. It's
Yep.
like you probably like I said, like you made this community into your enemy, and that could benefit you where you're at right now. It's like, man,
Yeah. I
it's a
think
dumb move.
it's like you said in your tweet, your comment. You said that Teo shot himself in the foot. You see
Yeah,
that, he's the WBO champion and he represents Puerto Rico's organization. And even at the time with the belt and the organization backing him, he goes and says something like this. Really means that he didn't really think about what he was saying. And it goes back to what I was saying about the rollies of the world. They put a camera in front of your face and they expect you to say the craziest shit because you'll get the most reaction. So in this sport that it's aggression and violence and shit talk is awarded, every guy is trying to one up the next guy.
yeah.
And, and I truly believe that he said something that, money, arrogance,
He
flashes, cameras, women telling you,
he
you
said,
might get beside yourself.
the comments he always says that
Yeah,
that are offensive, right? Is usually towards future opponents. For example, Puerto Ricans can't fight. Why he said that? Because they brought up Subriel and him into a future fight, and he wanted to say that to be hurtful. The things he said about Terrence Crawford and stuff like that, because he wanted a Terrence Crawford fight. You know what I mean? These are patterns that Teofimo has been doing to try to get a fight. But with all that said, look at him now with no fight. So it's
right,
not good.
right, right. No, and you know, Tio in his antics, you know, um, is what is the reason why he's in the situation he is. But that's not why I know Tio, and that's not why I watched him because of the shit that came out of his mouth. I watched Tio because he's a fighter and he's a interesting fighter and he's one of the top guys in the sport. And I believe that the sport needs fighters like that.
Yeah.
So the situation is what it is. Whether you feel that he said it out of mistake or you really feel that he had militia in his heart and you feel that he's just a piece of shit and he's arrogant, okay, right? So if you feel that way about him, let's see if he gets in the ring with somebody and let's cheer for the other guy. Let's see if the other guy gets us justice and knocks him out. And I think that would award it. But the public stopping Teo in his tracks and telling him, yo, we let it slide too many times, Teo. You said something here. You did this. You got a history of this shit. You brought up a very good point that when he said that about Subriel, it seems like every time Teo Lopez really doesn't want to fight somebody, he tries to bring him down to show you, didn't I just tell you he was a bum? When Arnold Barboza, a lot of fighters look back at Teo's career, and when the people are saying, we want you to fight that guy, he's on a microphone giving you a reason why he shouldn't fight that guy. And he's always done it. And I'm looking at Teo, and here he goes talking about Subriel, and I'm saying, is it because you don't want to fight him? That you got to put him down because this has been your gimmick all along.
Yeah. And another thing I want to say is that I do understand. Like I try to put myself in Teofimo's shoes in a way to understand, why he's acting how he's acting,
Right.
and I can understand his frustration.
Yeah.
That Teofimo of so much he accomplished. He beat Lomachenko. He's a two-time Lilio champion. Beat Josh Taylor. These tough fights. And you see, like, for example, you got Shakur fighting Floyd Schofield. I said it in the comment section, a rookie, and he's getting paid more than you. I think that has to irk Teofimo. It has to bother Teofimo.
No,
You know what I mean?
because see, they all came up in the same era.
Yep.
And if you think these guys, don't go to the same restaurants and travel, see, the problem is Teo keeps going to the same restaurant where they all used to eat at, and he's noticing they're no longer there. Why? Because they're going to a better restaurant. Now, Teo's in the restaurant by himself, and he's watching these new guys skip right over his and right to the good one. And he's looking around and he's like, what the fuck? But Teo's got to take responsibility.
Yes.
For some of the choices he made.
Yeah, he has to fight down.
Teo had opportunities, but he was too busy getting married, fucking around with a woman that his mother told him, don't do it. That's another story. But you saw Teo with his dad and New York partying. Hey, Teo, why don't you take this fight? That guy don't. He's not good on my level. And he's got to take responsibility for what.
He's no longer the top of the world right now.
I'm not gonna say he fell from grace, but he was the type of dude that he was on the ledge and he was at the top of the mountain and he was like, I'm here, and went and slipped. That's how I feel Teo is. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there and I'm watching the young man's career unfold, situation he finds himself in today. And I'm like, man, this shit can't get any worse, right? But I'll say that, and tomorrow I'm waking up and Teo says some more shit. And some of these fighters, they gotta get out of the spotlight and remember what bought them that car. Remember what got them here and focus back on that. I believe the fans, they'll love you again. Teo goes in there, fights a big fight, knocks out a worthy opponent. So Subriel Matias. I don't want to use him for an example, so I'm not. Because I'm not going to jinx him. So we're going to use another fighter. So what if he used, let's say, Sandor Martin, and he goes in there and he knocks out Sandor. Well, he already fought Sandor Martin. No good, no bueno. Let's say Barboza. Jack Adderall, right? Or one of the Russells, right? So if he knocked out one of those, that would be a worthy win, I think. And depending how he fought in the fight, if there was a good, like vicious, like bomb, and they're like, Teo's back, the takeover, and then Teo starts, and just don't say nothing stupid, kid. Just a lot of humbling words, Yeah, thank you for supporting me. Take your win and stay off of social media and come back and try to do it again and get back in the good graces with the fans. A lot of these fighters think that they can fight all these voices, just like Floyd. Floyd used to try to fight the fans with his own opinions, but the fans were like, "We're gonna pay to see you get your ass kicked." And Floyd says, "Well, you said what? We're gonna pay to see you get your ass." He said that when come on out then, and he made a killing, and he capitalized on his villain role.
And another thing I want to say, real
Yeah,
quick, is that like I get it. Like I was talking about this with my family members. I was like, just think about it. Like I can understand why Teofimo didn't want to continue to fight with the Subriel Matias because man, not only I'm in a bad contract, but also I gotta fight a killer.
right.
These other guys ain't fighting killers. Chuck Corey's fighting Floyd Schofield. Haiti's gonna be in a tune-up fight in BLK Prime, I believe
Yeah,
is
the
that
the opponents to
company.
yet to be announced, but um,
It's not gonna be the level of Subriel Matias.
mm-mm, mm-mm. And then
You know
and
what I
then the
mean? And that's
shots fired that Teo took at BLK Prime and said that their net worth was like 5.1, like the entire company. Like, so if their net worth is 5.1, the company's worth 5.1 million. What the hell are they gonna pay Devin Haney?
well. I heard that BLK Prime has signed Deontay Wilder, Brian Norman, Devin Haney. That's what I
Yeah,
heard. I don't know if it's
yeah. Well,
confirmed
look,
or
look,
not.
look, 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 right? Okay. I'm putting that out there, but just because their company's only worth 5.1, but that's the starting point. They got investors. The company might be only worth 5.1, but their investors got a lot of money. And that's how business is made. You know, so Tio was taking shots, and I found that interesting today that he was putting their network and everything, and you never know who BKLA Prime's investors are and how much money they got, because it's the same thing with Ed Hearn, top rank. Well, not top rank, really. They got money. But when somebody's backed by the Saudi prince, is what I'm saying.
Did 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 Teal fought in that one company called Thriller and they fumbled like crazy
Yeah,
or
no,
something
no,
like
that
that?
was that was yeah, well, those just career moments, man. You got to go through some shit like that. Not everybody comes up having fought in Las Vegas like right away, and sometimes you go with these lower, you know, promotions, and the promotion doesn't promote right, and the venue doesn't get sold out, the word doesn't spread. People find it a hard time to even find tickets online for the fight. It's like one with this ticket master you never heard of. It's some weird name. um and shit goes wrong. A lot of fighters suffer that in their career. And sometimes come out the gate pretty good. Abdullah Mason signed right away with Top Rank, and Camille Moten got Floyd Mayweather under his wing, right? But not all of us get that. Not all of us. A lot of us, the majority of us, got to get out the mud. We got to fight 10 fights, knock out 9 people, just for that somebody opens their eye, like and so, but
Honestly, like for me,
mhm,
like not that I'm happy, but I kind of wanted Surreal to go through the IBF route because I feel like he could get that uh title eliminator fight, real easy. And probably I just feel like he can beat Hitchens. That's my opinion, you know what I
yeah,
mean? But I feel like it's very
right.
doable. Um and he could be a champion once
Mhm.
again, and then from there, whatever unifications. But
You see,
That's all I got. Really got to
you
say.
see,
But
they these
go ahead.
these boxing reporters, right? They'll feed you anything. Sometimes we're aware of these things, but catching them is the tricky part. This is what I'm going to break down. They're announcing that the Subriel Matias fight against Elvis Rodriguez would be for a number one spot for a title eliminator for the IBF. But
Yes.
wait a minute. Isn't Jack Catterall and Arnold Barboza doing exactly that? They were promised.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
You
Yeah, I
understand?
forgot about that.
And sometimes we got to
Yeah, yeah,
sit back and watch the promises that the boxing does just to sell their fights. But you're at Round One Sports Talk. I point shit like this out. And then one of these guys are going to get stabbed in the back, and whichever one they feel is more marketable is going to get the fight. Mark my words. Whoever's stock goes up in their next fight, because fighters are by fight base. If Subriel goes out there and oohs and ahs the audiences and gets a good response, guess who they're going to go with? If Jack Catterall and our guess who they're going to go with? And sometimes I sit back and I watch this shit and I'm looking at it. I'm going, didn't you just promise these guys that? So now they got,
yeah.
yeah, because that's the game of boxing. Like it's that situation that boxer finds himself in. Like David the Monster Benavidez, right? Let's break down his situation real quick. Hey, David the Monster Benavidez, you're the number one contender for Saul Canelo Alvarez. He's got to fight me. No. Why? You got to fight a title eliminator first. That's why you're not getting the fight. I won. Okay. You're not getting the title fight. Why? Because you don't have an interim world championship. You need the interim belt. I got the interim belt. The reason why you're not getting the fight, you haven't defended the interim belt. Do you see what boxing does? It it
Yeah, I
it
understand.
makes these and gives these fighters and in reality
It's a lot of obstacles.
in actuality, I just think a lot of fighters situations are different, but sometimes you gotta guide your career
Yeah.
correctly. You can't you do not sometimes it's not good to tie yourself up with an interim belt because they hardly ever unify the interim dude with the champ. We rarely ever see that. And you go into getting an
Yeah.
interim belt thinking it'll get me closer to the champion. Ask David the Monster Benavidez, did it get him any closer? It didn't. He was in the same exact spot where he started. Saul just wasn't going to fight him. And rather than them being honest with him, they made him jump through hoops of fire. They made him do all this shit, bro. And he never got the fight.
I heard also that not to change the
Yeah.
topic with Teofimo, but I also heard that there's some trouble going on with the fight with Fundora and Errol Spence.
There's always that. Listen, there's another situation in boxing. I try to tell you guys, I got receipts. And I know, Carlos, you've been watching me for a while. You knew I told you that fight was never going to happen. I told you way back then. I said, you're not. I said, what, did they stall it again? What is this? The fourth time they try to tell you that the fight
Man.
was going to get made? And it's just not happening. And thank God for Errol Spence Jr. because Sebastian Fedora should be thanking the Lords that he was the one that came in between him and fighting Terrence Crawford. Okay, and Fedora like went along with it. Yeah, yeah, I'll fight Errol because shit. What was the alternative? Fight Terrence Crawford? Come on, I just won these belts, and you guys want me to fight the best pound for pound fighter in the world? Let me defend. Can I be a champion for a little while? I gotta fight him? Like shit. So Sebastian Fedora's father was like trying to get him out of it. And lo and behold, here comes Errol Spence And they were like, bro, Errol, how many times he flipped that leg? Yeah, yeah, listen, Errol. Yeah, no, we want to fight Errol. We want to fight. And the boxing world does love themselves some Errol Spence Jr. As you can see that the WBC got his back. It's evidence when you see
Yeah,
what's laid out. The WBC has him ranked the number one opponent without even fighting one time in that division. So you could see that the boxing gods like Errol Spence Jr. It's just that I'm not sure if his body is holding up. Like, who am I to say if that car crash didn't affect him a lot more than what he's telling us? Only Errol Spence Jr. knows that. And I said the way he looked against Terrence Crawford, um, it just doesn't, give me confidence that he was going to come back. He started pushing around this Sebastian Fondora fight, and I found it out right. I was like, and then I started seeing all the warning flags. The nope, not this date, this date. Is it a third cataract surgery now, or what? And then you heard all the excuses, and then the reports started coming out. Um, they got into this deadline. They got into this deadline, and we've been past all that, and they're still talking about them fighting. I was just like,
yeah.
but that's a dangerous fight for
Because
Arrow anyway.
yeah, I feel like they wanted to do that because Aerospace can sell
Yeah,
and buddy talks and stuff like that. But I have a good backup. If let's say if Virgil Ortiz beats Israel Madrimov, he could challenge
you're
Fedora for
asking a
that
lot
belt.
from Virgil Ortiz right now.
He got the interim. He got the
Yeah, he
interim.
can have that interim, but he's not fighting an interim belt or a fax machine. He's fighting Ismail Mazumov, man.
I kind of favor Virgil Ortiz to win that fight. I'm going with Virgil.
I think that here's an opportunity where two fighters find themselves in a good situation for future.
Yeah,
A big win, these kind of names, that's what we're talking about. We want to see these big fights, and that fight in particular is going to be a good one. It's going to be a banger. Now,
it's like a
yeah.
tournament bracket.
So Ismail inexperienced, but he's just been in the ring, and he shared the ring with Terrence Crawford. An experience like that, I mean, Virgil's not going to look like, once you already fought the best, right? So I speak of that because we live in interesting times. That fight is big in a lot of ways. And I think it's going to really test both men. It's going to solidify Virgil a measuring stick that he's finally ready to stick up to his bully, Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford's been the champion in the man, and he never fought him. He just wasn't ready. And at times they were honest. But Virgil Ortiz is the person he's scared of, is the bully, is Terrence Crawford. He's got a measuring stick right now. He knows it. I know it. The world knows it. He needs to beat Ismail better than Terrence Crawford did. And that would really solidify in your head, I'm ready for him. So that's why this fight, it's big. And it also big for Ismail on his side because now it puts him in winning contention and back to championship road.
Yeah,
So that's why I love a fight like this. Now, when I watch a fight like this, I'm looking at it, I'm going, yeah, this is a little 50-50. The more experience is on Virgil, which I wouldn't make it a 50-50. I'll give 5% more to Virgil because of his experience. It's not that great. He doesn't have the biggest names. Just fighting itself, though, it's pretty good. So I'll give him 5% more, but that's it. And it's just like it's a tough fight for both men, but I could see what direction it can do for a man and what it's going to do for Virgil and how he stacks up to the best fighters in the world. And that's kind of what you want to do in these situations. And they talk about like, how does young Xander Zion stack up to the rest of the 154? And is he ready for some of the top
yeah.
guys? You don't want to hurt your
Well,
guy, but you got to, and sometimes you're going to need a measuring stick fighting a former world champion for young Xander Zion would give him that confidence if he can go in there and definitively keep beating former world champions. Because he got one, and then you got to be better ones. And
And not only that, fight a 12 round fight.
yes,
He has not fought.
right. And we got
You
to
know,
see that with our own eyes. Can he make it?
yeah.
You know, yeah. And you see, and then there's also boxing situations I must see young Xander Zion in. Now I've seen his offense, pretty good footwork. Okay. Um, the way he processes information, the way his patience. But now I want to see what happens when you push him back. He has to fight off the back foot all night. He's starting to get drained. He's going out into deeper waters. And this is where experience starts to come in. Does he start letting doubt fill his head? As a young fighter, have you ever been in this kind of situation? In the amateurs, you only got 3 rounds, so you've never been in that situation. So, where is it that you learn how to embrace being tired? Where is it that you learn the experience that if you're hurt or dropped, does your mind go right into the crowd? Do you feel embarrassed? Are you focused on the fight? Some of these boxing situations, I can only tell when the fighter's in them. And that's some of the things I gotta learn about Zander Zion. I gotta see him in more boxing situations. As far as him as
Yes.
developing as a fighter, he's coming along fairly well. I
That's what I want. I kind of want to see in the fight with Shakur and Floyd Schofield. I don't believe Floyd Schofield is gonna win, but I'm giving him a puncher's chance to have that Mosley and Mayweather moment. Can
right.
he hurt? Can he land that punch to hurt Shakur? Because we never seen Shakur hurt before. I want to see how he reacts if he gets hurt.
Mexico Warrior says Benavides ain't no monster, just a weight bully. Um,
I agree, Mexican Warrior. I agree.
I you know, they're all doing it. All these guys are fighting in not their natural weight divisions. All of them, man. There's
I
very few
yeah. I
fighters. Like Subriel is a natural 140 pounder. I can say that. Um,
yes.
Naoya Inoue is, I would say, yeah, natural 22-pounder. He's right around there, right? I think he's going up fast, but there's fighters, yes. But all these fighters are doing this shit. You think David Morale is not a weight bully? Do you think that shit fucking what's his name? Nick Ball. Look how thick that dude is when he gets in the ring.
But he's short
He
though.
just huh?
He's
Yeah,
short,
but he's
like
big
shorter
as
than Tank.
shit, bro. He's a weight
I
man. Listen,
believe.
a lot of these guys do it, but weight
Yeah.
bullying is not gonna win you the fight. You still gotta have skills. I've seen weight bullies get dealt with for years. Skills
Like
do pay the
Berlanga.
bills. Weight bullying comes in good when that person can take your punch more because he's heavier than you. But just get accumulating of punches together and batter him and put him away. The weight bullying is not going to make him faster. If he hit you at that weight, and if he was at his net, he's still going to hit you. So you got to focus on the
Yeah, for
fighting.
example,
You know,
look at Gustavo Lemos versus Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis obliterated him, but he was like 140 pounds,
yes sir,
or
yes
something
sir,
like
yes
that.
sir. Obliterated him, man. So I'm like,
I do, but
yeah,
yeah,
I'm like, listen, man, it could be addressed. That kind of weight bullying. I'm not like on the line where that automatically wins you a fight. The guy got to fight too, right? So yeah, but there are some pretty big dudes. I mean, explain
I, I
Espinoza at
do.
6'1" at 126. That's not a weight bully?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I was gonna say, I do believe like nowadays boxers are bigger than back when Mayweather, Cotto, and Pacquiao
No, that's
fighting.
just opinionated. They were the same size men on the planet then that there is now. It's just that more people are getting opportunities at boxing now. More gyms are popping
Oh, okay.
up, and that tall kid that couldn't play basketball said, "Oh shit, there's a difference," and they're doing it. And when a tall man that's 6'9" that can't dribble a basketball, dunk a ball, or catch a pass, or make a tackle, says, "Well, let me be a professional boxer because I'm this much bigger than every other man. I'll just club him to death and I'll make millions." By golly, that shit worked.
But also there's special occasions. For example, Fedora 6'6" at
That's just
154. Man, we didn't
ridiculous.
see that back then. We never seen that back in the day.
Well, okay. Okay, but wait a minute. That's a good point you bring up, but let me we've never seen that in history. There's never been a
Yeah,
fighter in history that's been that size ever. He's the first. And Espinosa's the first at 126. And
yeah, the
yeah.
first. Yep,
So,
exactly.
you know, um yeah, like that's a fucking phenomenon. That's a freak of nature right there. Like that's a unicorn. You don't see that every day,
Yeah,
type shit.
box is always evolution.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
but
always
it doesn't mean that they're any more skilled than when we were back then because we had the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Marvelous Haglers, the Roberto Durans, the Sweepy Pernell Whitakers, the Floyd Mayweathers. When it comes to talent and fighting, um, I think
yeah
that
the
yeah,
skills.
it's a wave, and it's always good to see that one fighter that was born to fight make it to his sport and thrive, and that you get to see a long career of that fighter. You know, um,
Because
yeah, go ahead.
to me, like just because Fedora 6'6" doesn't mean like,
He's gonna
oh man,
win.
he's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
fighter. Like no, it's I'm still not convinced of Fedora. I actually had Tim Tszyu beating Fedora after the cut happened. The fight changed, and he couldn't see because he had blood in his eyes,
right.
and stuff like that. But if the cut never happened, I believe Tim Tszyu was gonna win that fight.
A lot of us feel
That was
that way.
just
A lot
that's
of us feel
yeah
that way. I think that um, Sebastian Fundora is finding his way too as a fighter. He's also finding his own, who he is as a fighter. And he ended up recently getting knocked out and coming back and then got this opportunity on because Tim Tszyu was gonna fight one time Keith Thurman. Then he injured his bicep and enters Sebastian
yeah.
Fundora. He capitalized on his opportunity, but I think that Tim Tszyu was riding on a high. He was fighting an undefeated Tim Tszyu, a real cocky, arrogant, don't know how to lose guy. And as far as aggression and everything, I think Tim Tszyu would have probably got to him. Sebastian Fedora, by that point, has already been knocked out. He knows what it's like to lose. You would have got him deeply hurt in the
Yeah.
fight. Your brain fucks with you, and it's up to you which way you take it. No one really knows that until you're in that situation, but you know how to lose. So when he suffered the cut, I noticed the intensity of Tim Tszyu because he really couldn't see, and there his corner was they dropped the ball. They let Tim Tszyu down. The fact that they didn't have
Yeah.
the ceiling solution in their corner, they couldn't stop you were never gonna stop that bleeding for one thing, right? I don't care if you had
Yeah.
the glue. It was up here. You hit that vein, you were done. But you could have bought your fighter. It would have been less blood though. Not all just pouring you know,
They should have stopped that fight and be like a no
yeah,
contest or something.
before you enter the fourth, I agree. I agree. He
Yeah.
suffered the cut in the second. I agree. That was one thing I did talk about. I was like, maybe he should have lived to see another day. Pack it up. Shit like this happens,
But another example. Oh, we remember we was talking about Rayo and Edwin de los Santos. I just thought about like Fudora being knocked out by Brian Mendoza and Tzu beating Brian Mendoza. But that same Fudora that got knocked out from Brian Mendoza is not the same Fudora right
No,
now.
no, because with every fight, your fight is supposed to get that much better, that much more experience.
He's a
Yeah,
champion now.
and congratulations to Sebastian Fedora's sister. She unified. She looks like she's doing a great thing too. So
Youngest undisputed, I believe.
almost right. No, 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 no. For women, I don't know that officially. I would have to check that back. Youngest undisputed woman.
I think she is. I think she is.
Um, youngest undis. That I can't confirm. You know. Um, but let me see. For example, uh, the youngest boxing for Puerto Rico was Benitez. He was 17 years old, right? He was
Yeah,
the youngest man champion ever at 17, right? Okay.
that's never
Nah,
gonna
I
get
don't think
broken.
so.
That record
I don't
is
think so.
crazy.
That's
That's a
retarded,
crazy
bro.
record.
He was fighting since he was 3. Okay. Nah, right. um, one of the greatest female the youngest that's a trivia. I'm gonna have to look that shit up.
Yeah, it's undisputed. Like having all the belts, youngest female undisputed champion
Youngest.
over Clarissa Shields, over Amanda Serrano, over Katie Taylor. I think Fedora's sister got that record.
All right. We don't have a female champion, except Amanda Serrano that was undisputed, right? Um, we have multiple champions, female champions, but undisputed. Now that's something that our top girl had it. Uh, she was a super featherweight, but yeah, I guess she might have that title. That's a good, interesting fact. I'm gonna look that shit up. I want to know if she's the
Yeah,
youngest
yeah.
woman because I know the youngest man, but now who is the youngest woman? And I'm racking my brain right now, and I'm like, I can't. Yeah, well, but congratulations to him. Did that team? The father has 2 champions. He has a daughter and a son, Sebastian Fundora. And like we were talking about
Yep.
that Errol Spence Jr. fight. I just don't see it happening. But I would like Errol to fight somebody a little bit down. But Errol feels like he should come back and fight a champion right away. I know. I don't know what it's like to be a champion, but I know what it's like to be a winner. And I know when you're a winner and you get a taste of the glory and it's taken away from you, you're going to want that back. You like walking around being called champ. And right away, your mind tells you, I want a championship fight. I deserve it. And I got the fans to back me in Dallas. Errol got all that. Errol could sell. He
Yep.
don't got that problem. But the problem is whether he's ready for this competition, being inactive for this long. I'm scared for him. Ring rust is a real thing. And if he thinks he's going to come in that ring and adjust quickly to Sebastian Fedora's punches with that arm reach already, that's going to be a puzzle by itself. Never mind coming back from the game from an extensive years off and being rusty already. It's like
Yeah.
I
That's
don't I don't like that fight for those reasons.
it's a bad
Yeah, I
mix
don't like
match.
that
A
fight for
bad mix
those
match.
reasons for Errol. When I break down the fight in my head, their skill level, what I believe is going to occur, and all signs point this is not a good fight for Errol. Not right now. Get a fight to get you back into fighting. Get back acclimating with the guys. Get in there and mix it up. Tell me how you feel. How'd that make you? You good? Let's get another one. And then you go after that fight, Errol. But what is this? 5, 6 years? He's fought one fight?
Well, 5, 6 years, crazy.
What do you want me to think? Oh, who's this going to come back? And the only fight you had in between that stretch was that massive ass whooping you took from Terrence. So what am I expecting here? I gotta be honest with myself. I'm like, no, Errol, please don't take this fight, dog. I don't want to see that.
We seen what happened to Adrian Broner when he fought against Blair the Flair. It wasn't pretty. It was it was not a good look on
For
for
who
AB.
AB was, come on, you know AB. He got a mouth. He's got. We know his story, guys. But I'm talking about AB as the fighter, and you gotta admit that dude can fight, bro. All right, and for the kind of champion he made himself, all those divisions, to end up on your career getting outshined by Blair Cobbs.
Yeah. We're talking about a fourth division champion that's fell from grace, basically.
4 divisions. Nah, man, that's just, and you can't. Adrian Broner got nobody to blame. And then it's not like he was a real old man. My man was still in his early 30s, man. He acts like he's older than what he actually is. But you look up Adrian Broner's age, all these other fights, he wasn't like washed up. He should have at that point still been riding off some of his leg. I mean, how old was Manny Pacquiao when he did that to one time Keith Thurman?
Probably like 39.
He wasn't 41?
I don't know.
40?
I don't know. Probably like 39 or 4. I don't know.
Listen. Those are real, like, guys that kept fighting but Adrian Broner was a remarkable talent, and for that to be happening to him like that, I was just like a little, like I recognize that it was his own doing. Adrian Broner has nobody to blame but himself. Um, a lot of parties.
one of the
Yeah.
one of the commenters says Warlock Boxer says, yeah, Gabriela is the youngest undisputed lady ever. So I
Oh,
was right.
she is. Oh, look at down here.
Yeah.
I didn't scroll up. I would have saw that too. I didn't see it. Yep. Well, that's official then. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out later on Box Rec. Yep. That's a good. Imagine being their father and going out
Yeah, he
to
has to be very proud.
a reunion, right? And your school reunion, and they ask you, "Hey, how you doing, Melissa? Yeah, Pat, how you doing? Yeah, my son is a manager at Kinko's. What's your son do? My son works in a garage. Yeah. What do your kids end up being? Both world champions.
Unified.
Unified world champions, both of them. Yeah, nah, what you thought they were gonna play in the NBA? Nah, they're gladiators. Okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that just gotta be proud, for a dad and their family name. And that's great, because I understand the significance of what a world title can do for you, and what it does for your family. All those passes Tom Brady threw for these trophies. When you see Tom Brady's dad or mom walk in the buildings when they could, because unfortunately she's bedridden, but they would open doors for that lady. Oh shit, Tom Brady's mother. Yo, that's respect that he got for your family. You see his sister. Oh shit, you're Tom Brady's sister. Like, just your accomplishments do so much for your family and stuff. And what a prouder moment as a dad, And it's just the beauty in all in sport, in boxing, man. It's so much that boxing, how many lives has boxing changed, taking some of these men and women from bad situations. And it's good. It's good. If you didn't have boxing, do you really want this kid hanging out on your corner that can knock people out like that? Young Mike Tyson, just outside your house. He didn't have no boxing outlet. What would he do? You know what he's gonna do. So it's for people like me, and I understand it. I understood Mike's rage. I understood Mike. He needed to punch something. I've been there. I know it. There was a moment in my life that I just couldn't turn it off. I just wanted to fight, 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 fight. And it's not that I turned it off anymore. I'm just releasing it. That's all. I'm giving it to y'all. But you got to find these kind of outlets and alternative for our young men and women. And at the same time, it's nothing like the experience you have going inside of a ring and knocking someone out in front of a world, and they give you money for it. I'm like, you're gonna pay
Yeah,
me? Like, this is fucking beautiful. Like, and a lot of these men feel that way. But, if you're expecting all of them to say the right thing every time they get in front of a microphone, or, you know, and some of these athletes are not assholes, uh, then you gotta mix screw perception away the way this shit really works. A lot of people, I've hear it all the time. My whole life I thought Michael Jordan was the greatest person in the world, and you see it. I probably don't gotta tell you. How many people say he's a jerk? Careful when you meet your
that's
idols. They might not be exactly who you thought they were gonna be.
that's your generation.
Anybody, yeah. Any generation, and it just takes that one guy.
Yeah.
Or there's thousands of athletes that act accordingly. They give back, they show up. Sometimes they give back and show up and not appreciate it. Then all of a sudden they walk by this fan and you suck. You suck, man. Yeah.
That was a funny joke you said about the kid, the baseball player. He's like, you can't make it to the league. You're
Yeah.
too short. That was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Nah. Some of these guys,
Imagine.
listen, I've seen and heard and weird things. And, I'm going to tell you the truth. One time I was going by Tom Brady. I'm from Boston. I've been to multiple parades. Forget about it. I got the trophy right here. Um, and I was going by him, and there was no way that I could get to him. There was too much security. There was and then the rope, we couldn't go past that. So he's like, but he was just walking by. And me as a person, I called out to him, and I expected him to stop. And when he kept walking by, I felt but I was young, and I said to myself, like, who am I to tell Tom, hey, yo, I'm right here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he got to stop for me. But we as fans, sometimes I've been there. I've been there before. I thought that I had so much loyalty to the team. I thought I liked Tom Brady more than anybody else. And I finally got an opportunity that at least we were that close. I couldn't get on the other side or nothing, but I yelled out to him, and the motherfucker just kept walking in, and that's what they're supposed to do. Keep walking. You know how many times they would have to? Hey, yeah, yo, it's every fan. At some point, you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
listen, I got to do my job. Like, I'll address you on this. You can see me here, and there's certain times for things. I guess it could be a crazy world, but yeah, fans. We all of a sudden, Tom Brady did something wrong in my head. I'm fucking crazy fan and shit. But nah, just you know, um, what some of these athletes now, and especially in boxing and combat sports, we lead by um great fights, and we talk about this in every era. I wish these two guys would have fought. I wish these two guys would have fought. And now with social media, we think we can hold some of these guys accountable, but it's not as easy as the Saudi prince thinks to do it, get it done, is it? Huh? In a sport where you can give the other guy the option not to take the fight, you can't schedule the fight. Um, Baseball runs on a schedule. Monday night foot, they're going to play on Monday night. That's a scheduled event. You can't schedule a fight in boxing until both participants are willing. If he says no, that shit's on your day. And there's a lot of moving pieces in it where that you're gonna have to
Yeah,
convince the other guy, why am I fighting you?
like I seen recently that for the Tank fight, for the Lamar Roach versus Gervonta
Yeah.
Tank Davis fight, they have a backup fighter. I forgot his name. It starts with an
Oh
M,
yeah.
but he's from the Philippines as a backup fighter. So, which that means that they're not trying to cancel this fight, or like the fight must
Right,
go
right,
on.
right,
Either if Lamar
right.
Roach backs out, like we have a lot of money on this fight date. You know
That's
what I
what it
mean? So it's
is.
like,
And then you heard these antics from Tank. He tweeted that the fight was canceled. Once again, the promoters and management got to come to bat for Tank. Tank says silly things. He put Floyd in a dress one time and tweeted out. Tank's history, and they trying to chalk it up again. There's another situation where they brush what the athlete does or says under the But when they say, "Oh, I wanted to fight that guy," and don't fight him, that's when they want to hold them the most accountable. And now Tank, I guess the date, the venue, shit was put out there, and he's gonna have to come out with an opponent now. If Lamont Roach, if this all stands to be, what did you hear about it? Everything you heard, did you hear Lamont Roach definitely out?
no, no, they have a just in case a
It's a
backup
backup, right?
fighter
That's what I thought.
if
That's what I
you know.
thought. They tendedly promoters do that all the time. Just in case one guy falls out, they
Okay,
got a guy that's it doesn't mean that he's going to fight the guy. So I was just trying to figure out right now if that was the possibility. But listen, Carlos.
that
Uh,
yeah. Go ahead,
yeah,
go
nah,
ahead.
nah. You know, um, I was gonna wrap this up right here.
Because I say this because
Uh huh.
just to end
Yep.
it off, was Pitbull Cruz a backup fighter when he had a fight with Ryan, I believe, and then they or someone. I think Pitbull was a last minute fighter. You know,
No. You mean
I think
Pitbull was
so.
on standby for the Ryan Garcia Devin fight?
No, for Gervonta versus Ryan fight, but it got canceled, and Pitbull was a last minute
Oh,
fighter.
oh, okay. The first time that they negotiated,
The
yeah, and
first
then
time
Ryan pulled out for
they
mental health,
negotiated,
and then entered. He's now. I can't remember that. No. Um.
it was a long time ago, but
Yeah, I couldn't remember if
just
that
trying to
said
bring up parallels.
situation had played out like as such, and how did Eastside Pitbull enter the equation, or did he have an entire training camp coming into the Tank game, and that wouldn't be a late replacement. That would actually just be a scheduled fight, so to speak, because a late replacement would be somebody that comes in on 10 days notice, 30 days notice, shit like that. If
Yeah,
you got enough time with over 3 months, it's not a late replacement. It would just be they rescheduled the event and gave you the opportunity. So that's where that would fall under the category. So
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
So when we're thinking about guys like late replacement and situations where, what was that situation where that fight where we saw the guy on the podium too? The Just in case somebody pulled out, that guy was on the podium and he didn't have like no opponent. They weighed him in,
Yeah,
everything.
I see a lot from. I see that a lot in UFC fights.
No, it was about, I remember it was not too long ago. And the guy was sitting in the chair and everybody wanted to know, why are you here? And he was like, he was
Oh,
like, he
I
was
can't
like, and
remember.
he got to talk and everything. I forget who it was. It's fucking, and I remember this. I'm thinking it's gonna come to me. Watch. And he was talking, and he was like, "No, I'm here just in case anybody pulls out. So if any of them pulls
Right,
out, I slide in." But he was on the podium with the main event fight. So I've seen that. I've seen that. They, they're smart promoting, because if they did that for Naoya Inoue and Sam Goodman, we would had that fight in December. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And they would have had somebody in the wing ready, training on the same time frame they were training to see if your number gets called. And lo and behold, that guy would have hit the lottery, whoever that guy would have been.
Yeah.
But Naoya Inoue acknowledged that in his fight coming up with Stephen Kubo Fulton, he was injured. And he asked the boxing world, yo, can I get a 30-day extension on the fight? Now, Stephen Kubo Fulton was already in Japan. So he was like, stick around in Japan for 30 days and train here in these gyms. And Naoya was asking for a lot. And they granted it to him. So when this shit happened to Sam Goodman, Naoya Inoue said, you know what's fair? I'm going to give you the same they gave me. I'm going to give you 30 days. He gave him the same time. You know what I mean? For Sam
Yeah.
Goodman to
Um,
take the fight. So,
definitely. But I think I'm gonna call it
yeah,
a night. It's getting late. I appreciate, always,
absolutely, man. Thank you for stopping by.
the space you give me. You know,
Yeah,
much respects to you, to round
thank
one,
you.
everybody in the chat. Much blessing. God bless.
Absolutely. And thank you for
And on to
stopping
the
by here
next.
at Round One Sports Talk. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. Don't forget to give these videos a like, subscribe to the channel. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Yo, Carlos, you were amazing. Thank you. Thank you for everybody. I hope I answer a lot of questions. Sometimes we can talk about different things in boxing, you know, give you a different vibe here. So thank you for tuning in, everyone. It's been my pleasure, and I'm out.